Hey guys, what's up? Are1 or 0 here. In this video, we will be covering two medium-level OSCP similar HacktheBox machines in around 15 minutes. If you're ready, let's jump in.
Welcome to offset certification, penetration, test, better than the rest.
The first box that we will be solving is Baster, and as always, we will be starting with an Nmaps key, the HTTP port. When we go to the browser, we are seeing a Drupal page. So I saw that there's robots.txt file from the Nmap scan results, and I'm just checking for what kind of directories I can see. I'm seeing changelog.txt. I am going there to see the version information, which gives us the exact version information. As always, I will be going with directory brute forcing. I will be using the tool Deer Search this time. I really like this tool. I'm doing it in the bug bounty. I'm using it in the bug bounty appendix also. It's a cool one. I suggest you to use it. It's very verbose and very fast. I'm just specifying the extension. I don't want some of the HTTP codes, and I'm also specifying from the directory brute forcing results, we will find the following file, which is the REST. When we go there, we will see the following output. This is very cool. We will be using this in our Drupal exploit later. The first thing I'm doing is I'm checking search exploit, or you can check exploit DB, the same thing for an exploit for the current version. So there's a remote code execution for the current version of Drupal, and we will be using this. We will be using this code. The first thing I did is I'm locating the file so that I can go to the main path, main directory, and I can edit the file. I'm copying this to my temp directory so that I can play around a bit. I'm going to temp, and I am going to modify the file. Let's see what we can modify in here. As you can see, the parts that we need to modify is URL, endpoint path, file name that we're going to save in the server, and also the PHP code that we're going to include. We want to get a REST shell, so first we want to see if we can get an RCE, so that from there we can get a REST shell. So the endpoint will be a REST, as we already found from the directory brute forcing results with their search tool. For file name, I'm writing my dog's name, Kalisa here, kalisa.php. This is the file that's going to be saved in the target server. And I'm going to change the PHP code in a way that I can verify the RC availability here. We're just writing the classical code, PHP code. You can just find it anywhere, one-liner. I updated the endpoint path, and I'm just going to run the file. When you run the file, you get this error. You need to install this tool, PHP curl, otherwise it's not working. That's what I've done here. It doesn't work because I need to update my server first. I use apt-get update. After the update, I'm installing the tool, PHP curl. After that, the exploit should work. Let's wait for a few seconds for it to be completed. As you can see, I'm making the video very fast. It's not because I'm trying to show I can do it very fast. It's because I know that time is very precious, and I'm trying to show you guys the results, the specific points that you're supposed to target. So that's the point of it. Okay, so we're gonna run the exploit here, the PHP code. When we run it, it should create some files for us. Let's see. As you can see, there are two files created, session.json and user.json. Let's see these files and what do we have? What kind of content do we have inside? As you can see, we have session name, session ID, token in here. And for the user.json, we will get some hashes. I tried to crack them. Yeah, as you can see in here, pass. It's a Drupal hash. You can just check hashget manual to make sure that what kind of hash is this. When I tried to crack it, as you can see up there, it's not helping me. It's taking a lot of time. So when I used the file that I created, kalisa.php with the tool curl, by using the basic comment, who am I? As you can see, we're getting the results. So this is basically the verification that we got an RCE. But this is never enough for us. We actually want a REST shell. So there's another Drupal exploit that I found, which is a fighting code, and it requires you to use the session information. And we already got this from the Drupal PHP code with the session.json file. So I will be using this fighting script, let's say, to get a reverse shell on the server. I'm downloading it to my server. I will be running this file now, but first I need to get the session information from session.json file. Cool. We're just gonna write the session name and session ID here. The node number will be 1 and the comment will be who am I? Just trying to understand if I can actually use the script. After that, I will try to get a reverse shell. We're waiting for a few seconds for it to give the results. As you can see, we got the RC results here. So the next thing I will do is I will be using this Nishan script in PowerShell TCP. It's very easy to use whenever you're trying to get a shell on a Windows box. I definitely suggest you guys to use this. So we are basically using the default template, and we are just adding the following line, which is also stated in the script itself as a comment by writing our own IP address and the port number that we're going to listen to. With a PowerShell script, with a one-liner, we will be sending this file to the vulnerable machine, and then we will get a reverse shell very quickly in this way. Okay, port number can stay 9999. I just updated my URL, IP address. And instead of who am I as the comment, I will be sending this file with the following PowerShell one-liner. You probably memorized this already. We used this like so many times so far. So I will be starting listening on a port. And of course, I will be listening on port 8000 because this is the file shell.ps1 that I'm going to send from port number 8000. I'm using Untitled HTB server because it's the easiest way. If you're confused, just pause the video for a second, try to understand what kind of comment I use here, but I use the same comment, PowerShell one-liner, to send the files to the Windows box so many times. So you should be familiar with it by now. We will see that the file is collected from my server, from the Untitled HTTP server, as you can see here, and we got a reverse shell in here. Awesome. I'm asking for who am I, the same user that we saw from the previous RCE. Privilege escalation is super easy. I'm just checking that system user comment to see the kernel information. And if you check online for this kernel information, you will find the following exploit, MS15051. It's very easy to use. I'm just downloading the file. As you can see, it's completed. I'm copying this to my current working directory. Then I will be using SMB server to send some files. It's very easy to use. Again, if you're not familiar with it, that's the time to learn it. We're just using the following command in packets SMB server. The folder that I'm specifying is Kali, and we're going to be using the current working directory to send the files. Cool, and this is the syntax to use. As you can see, we're using the SMB syntax to get the file. Folder is going to be Kali, as I specified. The file from my current working directory is going to be MS15 exe file. And I will be running it with the following comment and the quotation mark as who am I to see if I'm going to get anti-author the system. As you can see, we see some stuff happening here. Apparently the file has been collected, but it's not saved. It's just been used for my own SMB server, and we got the results anti-author the system. Very cool. The next thing I want to do is I want to get a shell. So the thing that I can do is, since this is a 64-bit Windows box, I will be using a Netcat 64-bit version. So the thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the same exe file for my own SMB server. And again, I will be specifying the file from a Netcat server, which is going to be collected from the SMB server again. I'm specifying netcat.exe file and binding it to cmd.exe to get a reverse shell for writing the IP address and the port number that we're going to listen on for the anti-author system shell, let's say. So I'm going to be starting listening on this port. I don't know where does this come from? 7676. Interesting. So I start listening on this. When I wait for a few seconds, I will be getting the anti-author system shell quickly. Yeah. All right. Let's jump into the next one. It's RedCross. It's a Linux box. It's a medium one again. And as always, we are starting with an nmap scan. Cool. Let's see what kind of ports are open. Okay, SSH, HTTP, HTTPS ports. The first thing I want to do is, of course, go into the browser to see what kind of application we have in here. 113 IP address. As you can see, guys, it's immediately going to this host name, infra.redcross.HacktheBox. So apparently I need to define this in my etc host file so that I can, the browser can actually reach out to this host name. Cool. Now I can actually visit the website. It's an HTTPS site. Cool. And as you can see, there's a login page in here. As soon as possible, we're just doing the directory brute forcing because that's what we need whenever we see a web page. So there will be a directory that we find here as the following documentation. Guys, since it takes a lot of time in the background to find these directories and stuff, sometimes I see some questions. Where did this come from? As you can see, this is directory brute forcing. I'm solving the bugs in the background, and I am just not waiting because otherwise this video will be like 2 hours or something. So, okay, continuing. I'm just continuing to do directory brute forcing on the documentation directory that I just found with dip. So I'm just going there. After waiting for a while, I found the following PDF file, which gives us some information about the contact page. It says that it's very important that the subject of the message specifies that you're requesting credentials and also specify a username in the body of the message in the following form. Good to know. If I want to grab something about the admin user, I need to specify them this way. Username equal admin. Good to know. I will poke it around later. Okay, I'm going to the contact page now. As you can see, there's like this input area. Whenever we see an input area, what are we doing? XSS. So I first tried a very basic XSS payload without any filtering in my mind. I'm just writing it like randomly, not writing anything else in other fields, and it has a filter. It stops us. If we are writing this payload in the contact phone or email address field, it's not grabbing us. So it's the cool thing. I'm just copying and pasting the same XSS payload that I just wrote. If you didn't catch it, just pause the video and get back. And in the main field, main body field, when I write the format username is equal to admin as the IT guy specified. Let's see what we're going to get in my port 8000. As you can see, we get the session ID. Very cool. We just stole the session ID. We can write this in our cookie manager, and we can refresh the page to go to the admin page. Okay, let's find the domain first. infra.redcross.HacktheBox. Should be down here. Yeah, here we go. Cool. We will just be pasting the value that we got in our listener and refresh the page. We are logged in as admin. Cool. This was the first cool part of the box, but I'm not happy enough because it's not giving me anything. I want to rush out when I get in the server. And the problem is that it's not happening in the subdomain. So I realized that since we already got the information of the subdomain, maybe there are other subdomains that I can find. So I added RedCross.HacktheBox to my etc hosts file, and then I started a subdomain enumeration. And from that, I found the following subdomain, admin.redcross.HacktheBox. Okay, since I already get a session ID and session ID value, I am just changing the domain. The subdomain is admin.redcross.HacktheBox instead of infra.redcross.HacktheBox. But it takes us to the following page, which is very cool. There are two parts of it, user management and network access. We will be using both parts to get a root shell and then later to escalate our privileges. It's important to use them all. So for the user management, I will just create a user. And the funny thing is that when we create a user, it actually gives us the password, the randomly created password for it. Okay, so I'm going to the other part with the IP addresses. As you can see, it is just a very simple box, which is allowing us to whitelist some IP addresses. So first of all, I'm writing my own IP address to whitelist myself. Maybe there are other ports that's running in the background that I couldn't find before. I'm just running another mmap scan and voila, there are other ports appearing here. So whitelisting IP address is giving us more privilege, but not enough. So I'm just poking around to see if there is any input validation problem or something that can lead us to RC vulnerability. I'm just sending a random value like 1, but of course there is like a code checking in the background if that's a valid IP, and we're getting this error message. So I wrote to Python one-liner to get a reverse shell, but there's a problem with the next parameter, which is action. When it's a love IP, it's not working. When I change it to deny, it gave me a reverse shell. So that was a trick here. You need to poke around a bit to understand. So anyway, we got a shell. Cool, guys. It's data, which is not the cool part. So I went to home directory to see what kind of users, which users do we have? We have Penelope. There's this folder hierarchy. When I try to go there, I don't have enough privileges to go there. Cool. So there's a method to solve this box to do the privilege escalation. There's actually a vulnerability on this hierarchy tool, so you can actually use it on this box. But I found an easier way to solve it. So the first thing I did was to go to web server home directory. I went to var .html and I saw that there are a couple of files here. And I saw the following file, which actually includes database credentials for PostgreSQL. This is very cool. I love Postgres. So in this video, we will see how to use these credentials, because I remember in the previous times when I was preparing for OSCP, I saw some database management systems and wow, I had no idea how to use the things that I found. So it can be really painful. So if you're not familiar with PostgreSQL, this is your video. Anyway, as you can see, there are so many database name, username, password information that we can use, check around. The one that will be useful for us is the one that I'm going to use, but you can't know this, so you can actually look around different databases and try to figure out your way. I just don't want you guys to spend a lot of time watching this video, so I'm showing you the direct way. Anyway, this is the format to use the PSQL tool for PostgreSQL. We're using the database name and then username. As you can see, we're not using any options like -u or something. Only for the host, we're using -h localhost. So it asks for the password, we're just writing it, and voila, we're in a database. So I see passvd table, which gets my attention. So I will be getting it select all from passvd table to get all the information, but I think I wrote it in the wrong place. Yeah. Let's do it again. When I do that, let's press return. As you can see, we got passvd information for Tricia and Kalisa, the user that I just created. So we have hash. I don't want to spend my time on cracking the hash. So the thing that I will do is a different trick. Probably not all of you are familiar with it. I will be using this trick to get a root shell. So I will be changing my GID to make my user root, and I will change my home directory to root so that I can actually impersonate my user, the root user privileges. Everything is cool. I just verified again, and I will log in as Kalisa user. I don't want to do it with SSH again, as I already have a shell here. I will just be using su, comment su Kalisa, and I know the password already. I wrote this. And it's giving me permission denied. I checked with ID for my user information. GID is looking 27, which is very cool. And then I will use the sudo -s trick to go to root user. I'm writing my password again, and here we are. We are the root user. Like I said, not everybody knows this technique, but I think it's a very cool one. Cool, guys. So this was just another video solving 2 medium level boxes. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I just want to give a status update. First of all, sorry for not creating any video. In the last weeks, I was a bit busy with personal projects. But I realized that we already solved 25 OSCP-similar HacktheBox machines. So that's a lot. And it doesn't take a lot of time with you guys, because I'm just focusing on the methodology that you need to use or you need to learn, to the quickest way to learn all the OSCP similar methods or OSCP methods, let's say. And I checked my box list, let's say, and there are 5 to 6 more boxes. Maybe I can combine them all in one video, or I can maybe create 2 more videos, but that will be it. This will be the OSCP prep from my side. Hopefully these videos are helping you guys. Maybe I can also create another video at the end of the series to say what are the next steps. If you have any questions, just drop a comment. I'm seeing them, and I will be reflecting your questions or requests in the next videos. And my plan is to create another series for OSCE because I love exploit development, and I want you guys to see how to solve these, how to write these exploits, let's say. I will show 7 different techniques. Since OSCE changed now, I think it happened like OSED, exploit development or something. I don't know the curriculum for it. So I will basically just show my knowledge on OSCE, which goes to the same point. It's all about exploit development. Doesn't have to be one certification. If you want to learn about it, I think it will help you guys. Another update is sometimes I will create some short courses, let's say, on scripting, such as bash scripting, Python scripting, or I don't know, how to use Vim, for instance. A lot of people are struggling with it, and people are writing books about it. So yeah, there are so many interesting topics that I want to cover, and I will continue creating these videos. Hopefully you enjoy it. Please drop a comment and stay tuned for more content. Cheers, guys.
This one dedicated to all those who complete the mark sex certification, the ones who not fault and not waver. No one to try hard and get braver. You must not fail, you must not nigga the bus. Try harder, you must.